I would say it was a mix of feelings. I felt sad on the inside. I didn't really tell anyone. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my devotional. And I was happy with my friends with my friends because we were having fun. We were going out and doing all this kind of stuff and going to college. So work, college, and the fun kept me busy and away from God at the time.
In today's episode, we meet Leticia, a young lady that struggled finding a church, a place that she would fit in. But the good news is she did find that place, and it's an inspiring story with a lot of things that we can learn from. So welcome to Tea Talks. Leticia, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be part of this video podcast. Thank you very much. I was looking forward to this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So why don't we start with you? Who are you? Where did you grow up? How was childhood? Tell me. And then who you are today.
Awesome. Yeah, I grew up in Brazil. I was born in Brazil. Grew up as a Christian. Went to Christian school my entire life. Just not college, but grew up in Brazil and until I was 22 years old.
And family was Christian too. How was your religious upbringing?
Yeah, all my family, they are still Christians. Yeah. So I grew up in a Christian household.
How did you like that?
It's interesting. I would say I liked it in the beginning when I was a child, when I got to go to Christian class at church. But then as I grew up and became a teenager, it felt a little like someone was pushing me to go to church, and that kind of pushed me away instead of making me go to church more often. So it was a hit and miss. Hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
Yes.
We use the same vocabulary. We're going to be fine.
Good.
I'm always missing words, losing words. So you had during childhood, it was a good experience. Throughout your teen years, you felt pushed. Yeah. How did that evolve in your spiritual journey? What happened from there?
I would say it began when I was 15-ish. I was in Christian school, and that didn't really help because I felt even more pushed. I had to go to church on Saturday mornings and then go to school throughout the whole week. So I kind of got away.
So instead of bringing you closer to God, you felt like it was pushing you away.
Yes,
what
correct.
do you think was... because everybody have a different experience. Some people say the best thing in the world that happened to me was going to a Christian school and was having a childhood in a Christian home. But everybody's different. And some people are like, nope, I didn't like this. What do you think kind of started pushing away? What is it that bothered you?
I think it was mostly seeing my friends that were not Christians doing whatever they wanted. And I grew up as an only child, so my mom was always on my back. And it's not my mom's fault, but I just felt a little limited. And waking up very early on Saturday or Sunday, I would feel like I didn't want to do that. I wanted to sleep in and then go to church maybe if I wanted to, instead of you have to go to church.
It was more of the forcing you instead of being your thing.
Letting you go naturally, I think that would be a little better. I feel like after I got out of school, I was more free. So I could do my own thing. I went to college.
High school or college? Going to college.
Yeah, when I got out of high school, going to college. I went to college right after high school, and then I was more free. I had my job and I was to work very often. And so I not forgot about church. I always knew that church was there and God was there for me, but I left God for many years, which I always knew I was doing something wrong, but I just had some things more important to do, like going out with my friends.
Life. How did that feel for you, that period that you were completely away from the church?
I would say it was a mix of feelings. I felt sad on the inside. I didn't really tell anyone. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading my devotional. And I was happy with my friends with my friends because we were having fun. We were going out and doing all this kind of stuff and going to college. So work, college, and the fun kept me busy and away from God at the time.
Got it. And that wasn't fulfilling. That
No.
was not something that you were making you happy. Even though you had the happy moments with your friends, that was not
Yeah.
fulfilling. Was there like a turning point?
Yeah. When I was about 21 years old, I just felt, it's hard to explain, but I just felt the Holy Spirit touching me. And like I told you, I wasn't going to church before for many years. So I just had the feeling that I had to go. And I attended one of the sermons and I cried. I got very emotional. And that was amazing. If I could go back to that feeling, it was just really important for me. And then from then on, I started to go to church more often and then hang out with the young adults, which really helped me at the time. And kind of leaving my other friends on the side just because we didn't share the same things, the same goals in life. And I didn't want to go back to that feeling of feeling empty. So from there, I did a Bible study, which was amazing. And I got baptized about a year later.
That is awesome. Before we go back to your story, what do you think are the struggles of young adults in the church today that is pushing them away from the church?
I think from my own experience, of course, you're going to have friends and people in your life that do things differently that will put. In my case, unfortunately, my growing up when I was a child, my church was a little smaller and very traditional. And that kind of made me feel like I didn't belong there. So it depends on the approach, the church members' approach towards you. The approach that they had towards me was closed. I don't know, some things that I did would sound wrong, but I think that's what happens nowadays. People's approach, they will never want to follow the same instruction. They want instruction instead of having a community, a young adult community. So the mix of my friends doing something different than I used to do at church and the church closing doors for me made me, I think that's why young adults, they get away from church. That's what happened to me.
So you didn't have like that feeling of belonging to that church or even acceptance because they were not ready. Because this is the thing. It's not like I think it's right for the church to accept anything that young adults are doing or young people are doing, but meet them where they are.
Yeah.
That's pretty much from what you're saying, what you felt like it was happening. It was like, one, your group friends were giving a life that seems to be a lot more fun for you. And on the other hand, the church was not being very accepting of your journey at that point. What do you think church can do to be more relevant to young adults?
I think nowadays, when I would say when I went back to church, I felt welcomed and I felt accepted. So as long as people have a little more of an open mind to get the young adults to church and then teach them what it's right, what they should do, what they should follow, then I feel like it would be a good strategy. It would sound more welcoming. It wouldn't scare them away. So just having a more open mind.
Was all of this in Brazil? Was here already?
In Brazil, mostly.
That was all in Brazil.
Mostly.
How did you feel the difference between the church in Brazil and the church here?
Churches in Brazil that I went to, they're very traditional.
Okay.
Extremely traditional.
But you found one that you liked it.
I did. Okay. Yeah, I found one here that I love.
Here or there? Because I'm confused. I thought you said you went back there.
Yeah. Yeah, so back in Brazil, I switched church a little bit. The young adults, they were mostly in another city nearby. So I would go to my childhood church sometimes. Okay. Sometimes.
So you went back to church, but it didn't feel as comfortable yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So then you came to the United States. What happened then?
When I came here, actually, I found another church, amazing Brazilian church. And then I was alone. I had just been baptized, and I don't think I was strong enough to keep the faith the way it was before, which I regret, but that's what happened. That's what should have happened. Yeah. So I got a little further, a little bit, and then I found another church here in the United States that are very traditional too. That's very traditional too. So I was like, I'm going through the path anymore. I'm done. But then I found another one, thank goodness, that got me closer to the church, and I felt extremely happy, and people were we work as a team, we know young adults, we are fun, we have music and events.
Music and events.
It's amazing. Like, so I thank God every day.
One thing that I appreciate from everything that you're telling me is that, okay, you were having your struggles. So too traditional, not connecting, not accepting. But then you felt your connection with God. You went back to your childhood church. Then you came to the United States and you try one church, you try another church. You didn't give up.
No.
That is the story that you're telling me. I appreciate that. And this is one of the things that I try to tell people. Don't give up on God because of people.
Yeah.
Because of the different behaviors of church. And sometimes it even takes for you to plant a church.
Correct.
If you're in an area that there's nothing, how about taking leadership? If you don't want to plant a whole church, make a group in your house.
Yeah.
But don't give up God, and don't, one of Paul's advice, don't forsake the community, because I highly believe that is God. It's not that I believe, it's in the Bible. It's God who created church.
Yeah.
We're the ones who messed up church.
Yeah.
But with the right mindset, we can make a church that is welcoming to young people. And I think pretty much already covered this, but in your ways of explaining, what advice do you give to a young person that is going through, that can't find a church, wants to find God, but is struggling?
I would say, just like you're saying, and I'm going to repeat what you said, don't give up. If you don't find a church that's welcoming enough for you, go to another one, ask your friends, maybe someone know about a church that's very style. Something that brought me a little closer to the church that I am right now, which is an amazing, is find something that you like to do for the church. Don't feel like you need to do something for pressure. Like, for instance, I don't like hosting, but I like social media. So I'm helping church with social media now, or you can help with the childcare or whatever. So it's something fun that will get you even more connected to church. And I feel like for young adults right now, that would be a very good strategy as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. What did you learn about yourself while you were going through these struggles out of the church, in the church? What did that taught about you?
At the beginning, I felt like a loser. Honestly, I did, because if I wanted to get close, but I couldn't. I was trying. However, once I gained the Holy Spirit's power to go through, get baptized, it was just so, I felt free, and I felt like everything was going well in my life, and I could deal with struggles way better. I wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect all the time. I had a lot of struggles, especially with switching friends, switching communities, routines. It was amazing. I felt like God made a way to make it happen way easier for me. So I feel like I went from the bottom to the very top, and then God helped me throughout the entire time. And it's not like
the troubles were gone.
No, they're not gone.
Now you feel the Holy Spirit working through. The Holy Spirit, I know God was always with you.
Yeah.
But it's when we are rejecting, because I went through that. So when we are pushing God away, we are not feeling his strength. We're not feeling that he's right there.
Yeah.
And now troubles still come, but now you feel more prepared to go to it.
Yeah. And I'm very thankful, because now I'm so strong that if someone from another traditional way come and approach me, I don't say anything. It doesn't bother me anymore. I just talk and walk away.
It's not like before you felt guilty or something like that, like I'm doing something wrong. Now you're not.
Yeah.
I worship God different than you.
Yeah.
And I know it's okay.
Yeah. And I respect your way. I respect my way. So yeah, I feel much better now.
I am really happy that you found this community. That
Me
is
too.
one of the reasons to do this podcast is it's to bring awareness, to help church members and churches, the struggles of young people, and also to try to make new ways that we can embrace what is different without compromising God's principles.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
welcome.
enjoyed talking
You're
to you
welcome.
and spending this time getting to know you a little better. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Welcome.